All right, y'all. I've got Ryan Magin on today, and I've been really excited for this podcast. I was introduced to you by a mentor of mine. And so, learning more about you, Ryan, and just who you've been involved with and the cool things that you do, have done, continue to do. I'm just really grateful to kind of know you at this point. I wish I would have jumped on the Ryan bandwagon sooner. So I'm going to turn it over to you because you were obviously really crushing the short form content game. And your results and your client results really speak for that. So I'm gonna turn it over to you. Give me some details on who you are, who you've worked with, and what you're seeing.
Yeah, so I appreciate it, and I've been excited for this podcast as well. When you got your whole vibe on social media is really cool, and I think I take that I love that because I'm a scene kid at heart. I'm like I used to be an ex-pro BMX racer. I traveled the country for years riding my bike. I never made enough money to actually survive, and that's why I ended up on the internet because I was like, oh shit, I'm broke, and I quit a corporate job, which was selling doors and windows at Lowe's. I worked there for like I think 10 years, like, because I'm 41 now. I worked at Lowe's for like 8 or 9 years or some shit. And like, I was like on the management path, was like, got the opportunity to turn pro on my bike. And I was like, yeah, fuck this retail job. I'm going to regret this if I don't quit. So I quit. And then I attempted to travel around the world living off my 401k, which was like $10,000, and blew through that in like a half a year. Started selling DVDs on the side that I begged my dad to help me make, which made me that was my first toe dip into making videos because I was like, oh shit, like I made a DVD. Well, my dad did because he knew how to do that shit. And then I was like, well, nobody knows how to get this DVD. So that turned into me making back then it was just Vidler videos. It wasn't even really YouTube yet. YouTube was still new. So I started making these videos, post them, and then I'd go to bike races and everybody would be like, I love your videos, like because parents were sharing them, and I was like, oh, this is cool. They were very ugly videos. Like this was like back when like we didn't have like DSLRs, like there was no like mirrorless cameras. It was like, point and shoots, and like, I had a flip cam, which like it flipped out and it like plugged into your computer. Which you don't even do that anymore. We have SD cards and all kinds of shit. But it was it was kind of a process, and I did that for years, and I basically self-funded my BMX career by training kids on the side how to get faster on their bike and selling a DVD for 20 bucks out of my backpack. And then I built a website, which back then we had to code, which nobody does now. Like they're like, you used to have like ClickFunnels and Kajabi and like Shopify. I'm like, shit's easy. Like I had to like learn like these lines and underscores and all kinds of shit to like make something appear on the internet. And then it turned into, I burned out pretty quickly of that, got heavy into like affiliate marketing, which affiliate marketing, I'm sure people are familiar of, selling other people's products for commissions. But I went to the this side where like criminals go, I guess you could say, whereas like selling like very black hat stuff. My top selling products were like Viagra and men's testosterone boosters and all the stuff that you sell and you get a commission and the person who buys can't cancel. I'm not proud of this, but hey, I made money and I survived. But I learned a lot of marketing and psychology and videos to sell stuff. And then I got started on YouTube shortly after that, and I was teaching men how to dress better to get laid. And that turned into a pretty lucrative, gig for about 2 or 3 years until I was with my current fiance, and then we broke up. And then I was like, well, shit, I'm a single guy now. I need to reinvent myself. I taught myself men's style and fashion, and then I started going out heavily and drinking every night. But I was dressed all good, and women seemed to respond to that. So I started teaching that on YouTube, what to wear to get laid, and that worked pretty well for a couple years. And I was able to make multiple six figures doing that with digital products.
So
And then
wild. Like that. First of all, this is such a great point for anyone listening that's like, is my niche specific enough? No, because that is specific enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, very clear outcome. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, and it was I've always been very early to things, which I mean will kind of like, lead into that. I was like, I did the YouTube thing. I actually got signed to an agency called Menfluential Media. I worked with some pretty big brands. My YouTube channel is still there. I never delete anything. If anybody wants to look it up, look up Ryan Magin Fashion, and it'll all come up. And you'll see aggressive titles and aggressive thumbnails because I've always been very good at getting attention. At least titling videos and like what to say and hooks. It was never a struggle for me to just make somebody go, what? Wait, what did that guy say? And then they watch my video. Um, I did that for a while, but then I ended up getting back together with my girlfriend at the time. She became my fiance. We had a daughter, and I was going to a studio every day to film videos teaching guys how to dress better to get laid. And I was like, this isn't really me anymore. I wasn't going out. I wasn't doing, I was still dressing well, but nobody wanted to hear about that anymore because you're not going out. And then it turned into, I basically just quit altogether and lived on the money that I kind of saved from selling the products. And then I found vertical video. And that came through the form of like Instagram stories to start. I started editing those, and then it turned into, this is about this is like when TikTok was still Musically, so it wasn't big yet, but it was right around the pandemic and COVID when, everybody was kind of like, what's going on? I had a small agency at the time, and people didn't really care too much about me. It was like, I was just kind of chilling. I think I had 10,000 followers on Instagram. And I was like, yo, this TikTok thing's, it's got some legs. Like, there's no competition there. And I've been on the internet now a long time to be like, if you can get somewhere early, you have a sizable advantage, which is like kind of like the rule of like one, or like the blue ocean strategy, like similar to having a niche in fitness. Like, don't just teach fat loss to nurses who work the night shift, shit like that. Like find your person that you're selling to. And but TikTok at the time was like open season. There wasn't nobody there. So nobody was teaching video. Nobody was teaching business. Nobody was teaching anything. And I was like, I can do this. And then I started doing TikTok videos every day. And at the time, I was really broke. The agency, all my clients canceled. I was like convincing, my fiance, oh yeah, I'm gonna make rent. We'll figure this out. And she's like, and you're making TikTok videos? Like, isn't that like people are dancing on that? I said, I know it's gonna be a big thing. I mean, she's always kind of supported me. So I was like, she saw the vision, but I was like, yeah, I still gotta pay rent. I gotta figure that shit out. But I was fortunate, TikTok, I put all the chips in, and I was like, I'm gonna get 100,000 followers. I'm gonna try to do it in less than 6 months, and I'm going to have multiple clients paying, whatever I get them to pay to have me and my future team, because it was just me at the time, edit all their videos for them. And I ended up getting 2 case studies, which some of your audience might know. One is Elliot Hulse. He's like the OG fitness YouTuber. He's a good friend of mine. I was doing his videos. I was doing them for free to get a case study. We grew his account really fast to a couple 100,000 followers. It got banned. He's very, very controversial politically. We then grew a couple more for them. They kept getting banned. But then another one of my good friends, Chris Barnard, he runs Overtime Athletics. So he's more of a sports performance company. He's got a big YouTube channel. Same thing. We were clipping their YouTube videos, turning them into TikToks, and it was working really well. I took those 2 case studies. I basically didn't make any money off them. They're still like my best friends though. And then I turned those into, I landed some pretty big clients. First one that was big was Grant Cardone. We took over his TikTok. We grew it to 1 million followers about 6 months. Second person came from that was Ryan Pineda. We grew his TikTok from 500,000 to 1 million because he was already aggressively on TikTok. And then it led down to the path of, we work with some people that are very big in the fitness industry that wrote a couple books. Their favorite color is purple. I just can't say that publicly because of NDAs. And from then it was just a snowball to now we currently have 18 clients who do 4,000 videos a month. The company does over $1 million a year. At any given time, I've had like 10 to 15 full-time editors working for me, and it's been a whirlwind. And now we're here.
And now we're here. And now we're going to take all of these years of trial and error and a lot of error, and you're going to listen to this wherever you are and feel confident creating a video without a team by yourself. Because that's what I told Ryan at the beginning of this podcast, right? I said, listen, a lot of my audience, they see these videos that, the Hermoses of the world are doing or whatever, and they're thinking, man, like I want to duplicate that, and I don't have time to edit. And I totally get it, right? Like editing takes a long time, especially if you're doing everything else, you're a solopreneur. And so I want to break down just how to kind of get past some of these hurdles, what that looks like, and I want you guys to feel confident whenever you're creating content. So the first thing I want to bring up is just this idea that, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. Do I really need to create these videos? I feel that so many people are like very behind the times of getting on the video bandwagon. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, well, I don't live in a world that exists without making videos. So I don't know how anybody, I mean, unless you're an exceptional writer. And there are a lot of introverts of the world that are exceptional writers, but we also have these things called faceless videos. Like you can make videos without showing your face. I don't necessarily recommend that. Unless you are like, unless you have a more consistent monetization strategy or way to make money. Because like yourself, like when you film videos and you make eye contact, influence is built, money can be made from that. So I've never one to shy away from that because I mean, if you're selling your fitness coaching services, or you're selling fitness products for fat loss, anything, supplements, doesn't matter. You have to get people to trust you because they need to hand you their credit card or money to buy from you. And there's no faster way to do that than video. Which is, so I just kind of shut off my brand as like I'm not a writer. Like I just make videos, even though I know how to write well thought out, sales copy, stuff like that. It's just the world, I think just the world we live in, it's like if you don't film videos, there's somebody with less knowledge and less expertise that's going to film them under you, and they're going to get more views than you, and they're going to make more money than you, and they're going to get all the followers that you should have had because you were scared to get on camera. And I can tell you from working with the biggest of the big people, um, they're all insecure about how they look. I'm insecure about how I look on camera. Like every single person in some way, shape, or form, like I don't like to film close up to my face because my bottom teeth are crooked. Like, I know certain people don't like, they'll never show their feet on camera. I know certain people that like if you show their like if you're sitting in a chair and it's like left side, they're like, no, only right side. Like everybody has these things. And at the end of the day, they do end up getting over them, but if the people watching this at that smaller scale knew the same shit is happening at the bigger scale, they would feel a lot better about that, but I just think that the power of video, there's no other world, or there's never been a time in history until like TikTok and Reels and Shorts that you can make a single video and get 1 million views overnight. Like
Now,
YouTube is
I want
really
to ask you about that too, though, because
Mhm.
I don't want somebody listening to this and think, okay, I heard on Taylor's podcast that I'm supposed to go viral and that's how I'm going to make all this money. So I do want to be clear on like, yes, do I think that more eyeballs can be helpful? Absolutely. However, it's rare. It's rare that I see a client make money from a viral post, usually because
Oh
it's
yeah,
accidental. So
yeah,
can you just at least put that disclaimer out there?
yeah. Well, I mean, I'll do better. Like the viral videos are not going to make you money. Like all viral is, I think it's kind of a jacked up term now. Like, and I have a definition for viral, and viral for us, the definition is 1 million views. Like that's in like we make a lot of videos that get 1 million views for a lot of big people. Like we average 30 plus a month every month without fail. Um, the people are doing it's more of a mass scale relevance, not money. Like the people that are focused on viral that I work with, like a Cardone has his money strategies in place. Like, he's just like, Ryan, I need you on your team to get me more eyeballs. I know how to convert those eyeballs. I just need more of them. But they also sell very generalized specific offers like that can be sold to a mass quantity of people. You know, I do truly believe that, and something happens when you do go viral, like, or we'll say when you get 1 million views, even if you get 100,000 views, like, more attention on a single person or their ideas, I think in no way, shape, or form is ever a bad thing, you know, and you're right. I like to say that we have a magic wand and we can make anything go viral. Like we do it because of reps. Like it happens because of more volume and our experience on what to talk about. Like we've learned that, like we have lists of videos of like, if we make these, we're probably going to get a lot of views, and then when you look at a person who's obviously a business and trying to make money, it's like, well, does it make sense for you to even talk about this? Yes or no? If it's a no, then no. Well, figure something else out, and like, but fitness is a viral niche as a whole, like, because everybody, I mean, I was just at a resort this last weekend, and I can assure you, every dude there needed to lose weight. Like, and if I'm going on a cruise in like 3 weeks, and I can't wait to see the shapes that are going to be on that event with cruise for 10 days. Like, it is a mass scale thing. So, like, I do want to shed light that even if you do go viral, like, it's just attention, and I think people get that messed up. Because there is levels to the content. I hate overcomplicating by going, you need to do these videos to do this and these videos to do this. Like, I just think most fitness coaches specifically, they don't show their personality enough. Like, and I think you do a great job of that and personality generally, that is what goes viral. Like, it's strong opinions, hot takes of like basically you as a person, what you believe in. Like we've done videos for Chris Crone, his 5-hour morning routine. Like that's what he does every day. He sells real estate. His morning routine video is really irrelevant to his life, but that stuck and he became known for that. And he's also known for pulling his kids out of public school because the teacher was fat. And he's like, I don't want that person influencing my children. That actually lost him money in real estate. He lost investors and people pulled out because of that. He also said he didn't want to do business. He hates doing business with people that are overweight because he's like, we're going to go into a partnership forever. I don't want you to die. It's a very normal thing to say, but these were viral videos that I'm sure a lot of people watching this have seen because they got tens of thousands or millions of views. Like, they weren't set out. That was just his personality. Like, we didn't come to him and say, hey, yo, let's insult fat people. You're gonna get some views. Like, it's just like, those are your values, those are your beliefs, and I think that when you're looking at we'll say it, I mean, a sea of fitness coaches, the only difference is like the personality of the coach, and that's where I think whether you do that once a week, twice a week, I think more coaches, I mean, I think everybody can do it. Realtors are the worst at this. Like, everybody can just show more personality. Like, you show your concerts, like you show that, like all of that is you. And, just a clip of you dancing at like a Hawthorne Heights show, that might get 1 million views, but it's probably going to drive followers too, because we've just seen it as whether you're doing, 100 videos that get 1 million views collectively, or, one video that gets 10 million views, you're averaging, and we see this across many accounts, around 1,000 followers per million views. And yes, the followers skew higher if you nail like a very specific video. Like, if you break down, here's an exact keto meal plan, and follow this to the letter. But you're also, like, we call them like 1-minute courses, like where you can do a course in 1 minute. You don't have, 500 of those in you. Like, and it's more like maybe you have 30 of those in you and you do one a month for the next 30 months. Because I think also there's, when you run out of niche things to say, that's where personality steps in. And let's face it, there's like, the internet is a sea of the same stuff, the same leg days, the same, girls, here's a get ready with me. Here's how to grow your butt. Like, they're all the same videos being posted, and they need to be posted because you need volume. You need to keep putting videos out. But then it's like when, like if you have a meltdown at the gym and you throw away the tampon barbell pad, you're like, fuck this thing, only pussies use it. And then that happens to be on camera and that gets posted, that gets 1 million views. From that, you could see 5,000 followers. And they're like, and I would argue that those are better followers because they love, Taeler. They're like, no, she freaked out. I've done that before. I can never get those clips to fucking work ever in my life. It's like, but that's a video where it's like, most people are like, well, that has nothing really to do. I mean, it's like, I don't want to make fun of people. And they end up crushing. So it's like, I do want to preface that because it's like, there's just content that does different things. There's stuff that gets views and relevance and, fame per se. And then there's like educational, like expertise and mastery type of videos that like really drive home. Like, this person knows what the fuck they're talking about. And I think you need a mixture of both, but like, people, they just get cloudy because it's just like, if I look at all of my videos, like one of my most viral videos is me just talking to an ex-MMA fighter about cauliflower ear. Like, that was a video. It crushed. Like, it was like literally one of my most viewed videos. I think it was 14 million views on YouTube Shorts. Another one is me asking Brandon Carter what watch I should buy for different income levels. Both of which, like, I technically sell content. They have nothing to do with me. But those videos are referenced whenever somebody comes up to me at an event. They're like, I saw that video you did. I was like, which video? And it's like, they have these memorable videos. It's like, I'm like, I had one that was like 5 million of telling somebody how to go out by themselves to make friends. Like, that video drove 60,000 followers. Like, and I'm like, and I've had people literally tell me that they watched that video, knew about my services with content, and recommended me to somebody. They're like, I don't need to make content, but I know somebody who does. And it's like, so it's like, it's hard. Like, we're talking eyeballs on things. Like, I've just found that, like, for every person that's probably watching this, that all the people that they look up to, that they're watching on the internet, that are making videos, are probably, those people's intentions are like, just put me in front of as many people as possible. I figured out how to make money. I will do that. And a lot of that has to do with what you do very successfully, which is ads. Like, we work with Brandon Carter, which is King Keto on Instagram. We've helped him grow Instagram, his TikTok and his YouTube. His YouTube, we took over 1 million. He was stuck for a long time at like 600,000. and he went to 1 million, and it was all, and he sells similar to your niche. He teaches personal trainers how to start online fitness businesses. His most popular video is about him being bald. Like, and he's like, I don't know why, but I've had people watch that video and then they get on a sales call and they buy. So it's but he also has very good retargeting, and that's an aspect that I don't think people envision. Sorry, my little thing's like falling down on me here. Is most of the successful people, they retarget all of the organic views, because if you get a video with 1 million views, then for that video to get 1 million views, there had to have been 500,000 people that watched it start to finish. Of those 500,000 people, let's say that you're selling to fitness coaches how to make your first 6 figures. There's probably maybe, only, we'll say, a couple thousand of those in that 500,000 that would be a direct fit for your offer, but you can retarget them because they're there. And the personality video is technically free. So now, and I think if people looked at it, and then even organically, the more views you get, and this is not like, I don't want to tell people to obsess about this. Just get videos out, like, but if you happen to get one that does go viral, maybe it's you, scooping ice cream, on a cheat day, and you're like, this has nothing to do with it. But now that video got 1 million views, it's 100% safe to assume that 500,000 people were just exposed to your account. And the algorithm now, whether it's on TikTok or Reels or Shorts, the algorithms are so powerful that they're gonna be like, oh, well, Taylor's got like 5 other videos about how to make 6 figures your first year as a fitness coach. Let's send those videos out to those 500,000 people, and the right ones will watch those all the way through. And it's like a spider web. And I think that that's where people, just get mixed up, because it to me, it's all retargeting, and it's whether you're paying for it or whether you're paying for it with videos and organic, either way, you're going to get the same goal, because, but at the end of the day, if you're getting views or you're making videos and nobody's converting, nobody's buying anything, nobody's reaching out, then you're doing something wrong.
Well, and I see like one of two options, right? Like the one option is the coach who just like, I never have time to do videos, so they just don't do videos. It's like always on their list of things they want to do and never do. And then there's the coach who hyperfixates on virality, more eyeballs, but they struggle to sell their offer anyway. And so to me, both of those are a fail, right? Like, and that's kind of what I wanted to bring up, is absolutely, because that's where I'm at in business, right? It's maybe not me telling you that like I'm trying to go viral, but yes, it is more eyeballs. How can we get more eyeballs in what I'm doing? Because I've mastered making the cash. That's not the hard part anymore. Now it's like, how do I saturate more spaces? But I think a lot of coaches take that backwards and try to saturate first before they have a proven offer or can sell at all. I think that, there's such a, not that we're going to go into this rabbit hole, but the whole like, I hate outbound sales, I only want inbound. Like, that's like a whole other topic that just drives me insane. Like, you have to do the fucking work. And I think that people just avoid it altogether. And they think that if I just get a few viral videos and if I just really focus on that, I can totally sell. It's like, no, you can't, right? Like,
Yeah.
you probably won't be able to.
Well, it's
So
like, it's also too, just to touch on that, like, no, one viral video, if your goal is to get a few viral videos just to make sales, like, that's not going to happen. Like, and this is what I like. It's always fascinating because I do like my personal accounts on TikTok, Reels, and Shorts. I've collectively on TikTok, I've got almost 200 million views on TikTok. On Instagram, I have just crossed 100 million views on Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts, I'm at like 65 million. Like, that is a lot of views. Like, people seeing, and those are all my face. Me talking to somebody like I'm in every. I'll still go weeks, if not days. Nobody knows who the fuck I am when I walk out of my studio or down the street or at the mall or at Target. Like, I think people have like, to get to the level of like a Logan Paul or a Rock, of like somebody of that stature, it's billions of views. Like, and I think that that's good for context, because it's like, you don't need that to make money. But I'm just saying, like, the amount of times that I've gone viral, like, it costs me more to go viral than it does to just get clients. Like, I'm building a personal brand, and that's something I think that everybody should build, you know, and I mean, you're doing a great job of it. And as you scale, it's like you have to like you can get like and Brandon has, I don't want to always quote Brandon, but it's a very similar niche. Like he's like, dude, you need like 10 people to pay you like, you know, fucking $800 a month or like whatever your fee. Like it's not hard. Most people have that sitting on their Facebook right now. Like you can build a six-figure business from your Facebook. Like, and then you start, reinvesting into like, let's just do one video a day
Well, and
and
that's
see what
that's
happens.
what I'm saying. It's like people get so, I don't know what it is, but it's not, this doesn't happen when I talk about like DM strategy or anything else. When I talk about like video and content strategy, and trust me, I know that you're like the short form content person, but I mean, my background, like I understand headlines and storytelling and all of those things. And I feel like so many coaches are just trying to skip the work, to hit the easy button, and that's just not how it works,
No.
at all, right? Like you said, you've spent more time and money then you have made money likely on going viral and all of that. But for you, the motivation is different. So when I think about a coach who's trying to hit their first 10K month, for example, and is killing themselves over videos, but then has 2 clients on their roster, like what are you doing? Right? Like what the fuck are you doing?
Mhm.
Like get off of your phone and like go get a client. But like there's just a disconnect there. So I do want to
Yeah.
chat though about a content strategy, a few elements of that. I'm not going to give you a vague question on content strategy, but specifically like honing in your messaging and bringing in that personality and branding, because I think so many people really struggle with that.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I would say 100%. Like, you got to get to where you can do a video a day. And I mean, I do think people need to keep that cadence for a long enough time frame because there is something to be said for momentum, especially on the platforms. Like if I go like right now, like last night I posted a video. It's been like 5 days since I posted. Like I have been swamped, with I let some editors go, and like that means that I have to go back and edit in my business. Like, I'm an ad video editor at heart. That's like why I even got into this. Like I was, and then it became, the getting to one video a day for most people is a challenge. And then to sustain it is an even bigger challenge. And that's most people start they're and like kind of like what you're saying, they're on their phone, they're filming videos, they're doing like day in the life. They're doing like 2, 3 videos a day. And then they do it for like, let's say they make it 30 days, and then they're like, and then they're burnt out. Like, and they're like, shit, what do I do now? And it's like, that happens at scale very fast, especially when you're doing like, I mean, we work with clients and some of them are posting 2, 3 times a day. And we have to film. That means they have to film a minimum of 100 videos a month. Like you got like content is like it is a loss leader. Like nobody, like, I mean, nobody's making, yeah, you see the YouTube screenshots of like so and so who makes $200,000 from their videos, but that's on like their last year. That's not the 8 years prior of not making any money. Like, and I do think, with the nature of like people get so fixated on the videos and the virality that it's like, you know, it we call it like routines, I guess. You have a fitness routine. It's like I have a video routine. My routine is once a day. Here's how I fulfill that routine. I film on Monday. I block out 3, 4 hours of my time and I spend roughly 10 to 15 minutes on a video. I have to film and then I have to edit it and get it ready to go in like 20 minutes. Like, and this is like, I'm messing with the numbers because if you're not doing subtitles, if you're not doing graphics, if you're just talking to your phone, it should not take you more than 5 to 10 minutes per video. Like, and then there's an app called CapCut. It's great. You pay for the premium version.
Yep.
I think I like they have a desktop version. If you want to take this seriously, you will need a laptop. Like you cannot do
I
this
think
on your
everyone
phone.
listening has a laptop. I think we're good there.
I would hope so, but I have younger kids that say, oh, how do I want to do this? And so they make incredible videos on their phone. I said, yeah, I can hire you right now at $6,000 a month, but I need 7 of those a day. Can you do it? You can't. You need a laptop. So it's always funny to me because I'm like, wait, do people have phones or laptops? Like, what are we working with here? But you don't need a camera to do this. Like some of my most viral videos are filmed with my phone. And I would say that the phone is the best place to start. I only from the fact of I film a lot of street interviews, where it's
We
like
love
I
a good
walk
MOS.
and talk to people. Was that?
So we love a good MOS.
Yeah. And the street interviews are if I walk up with my DSLR with a big lens and a big microphone, the person I'm about to talk to just gets timid because they're not used to being on camera. In some cases, a lot of them, they know exactly what we're doing. But like, when I'm talking to somebody in public, like they might not be used to it. And I might not get that video if it's a camera. So Louise, who's always around me, or Savannah, who's around me a lot, they just whip out their phone and film. And then those become videos with like no editing. Like I think, and I know that my company is responsible for this, is the over editing of videos. Because that's how I mean, some of my first viral videos were about making videos, and I'm like, every 2 seconds, you got to do something to make the viewer engaged. And like, here's some hooks. And like, I was doing that shit 2 years ago. I still see that shit, people doing that today. And I'm like, you don't need to edit videos now. Like, what I would tell all your coaches to focus on is put a timer up for 1 minute and pick a topic and try to film that video start to finish with no blunders in 1 minute. And then post that shit. Like, and do that every day for the next 90 days. I promise you, of those 90 videos, statistically, probably 5 of them are going to do very well. And by very well, it could be 100K, it could be 200K, it could be, you might even get over 1 million if you say, like, if you speak something properly and it has a reason to be shared, it's going to go viral. And then you just perfect that, because most people, it's like, it's not that they're afraid of the videos, it's like they're just afraid of speaking.
Well, I think people
They
don't get
don't.
the reps in, right? That's the problem, is that
Mhm.
everyone wants to, but then they just don't. And that's business, right? And I think
Mhm.
my favorite phrase that people like to say is, well, I started this to be a coach, not like a content creator. Well, sucks to suck, you are. Like, you are a salesman, you are a content creator. You can go to get a fucking 9 to 5 down the street, but you wanted financial freedom. You wanted to work online.
Yeah.
You wanted all of that. So you have to do all that goes with it. Otherwise, it's easy, right? Because in my opinion, like, being a business owner, it's not that it's like better than a 9 to 5. In my opinion, it is. Of course, I'm sure in your opinion it is too. It's just
Mhm.
different. I don't think that people are
Yeah.
always aware of that. Like, for some people, it is easier and feels better to clock in, clock out.
Mhm.
But for the coaches that are listening, especially my newer coaches, right? Like, you just have to get the reps in. And
Mhm.
I remember when Reels first came out, and I was like, God, I hate these trending sounds. So stupid. And like, I
Mhm.
maybe did a few, and I was like, I'm way better if I just talk to a camera. Like, that just is more of my style. And this is cheesy and not me. And they perform so much better, right? And then we do take some
Yeah.
of those and run them as ads just for like awareness campaigns, and they've done really well.
Mhm.
They're not getting millions of views well, but well enough to, oh, I followed you because I saw this on the internet well. And to me, that's like, okay, cool, that made sense. But I want to talk about the idea creation, because
Mhm.
I know a lot of coaches listening to, I mean, efficiency is major, right? And
Yeah.
so I'm not going to say coach, I will not say doesn't have time if I truly mean it, if like I didn't mean it, but most coaches are not going to have time to edit 1 or 2 videos a day. I think a lot of my clients are batching stuff versus like
Mhm.
taking the time daily, right? Because if you're doing 1 to 2 videos, it's going to take you a hot minute to get back into your zone of genius on another thing. And so I'm all for task batching. And I am
Yes.
somebody that hates filming. It's so funny. Like, I'm not bad at it. I hate filming video. Put me in a coffee shop and I'll write all day, every day. But the actual videos, my least favorite thing. So I
Mhm.
just film all of my reels in 1 day per month, and then I am
Mhm.
done. I realize that a lot of
Yep.
people don't have like the stamina to do that much at once, but like, even just like you said, making a Monday morning or a Friday afternoon, like, whether it's bi-weekly, weekly, like, just set that up. But I think it's the idea creation that gets people
Mhm.
so hung up. And so I would love to know, because my clients know my tactics. I want to know your tactics for just during the week when things pop up. Where are you dropping little brain dumps or ideas? Because my ideas come to me not when I'm like, what should I talk about? It's more of like, oh shit, that's a good
Yeah.
idea. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, that's a good video. Like, how are you keeping tabs of various brain dumps?
Yeah. So I mean, so I mean, obviously my life is consumed by short form video because it's what we do for all of our clients. So I spend a lot of time watching other people's videos. Mainly, and I try to choose platforms. And this is a form of market research, but it's also me, like, it could be considered doom scrolling. I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to defer the line. And I have a habit of, when I'm scrolling, I just pick a platform. I'm like, okay, for the next like 30 minutes, and this could be maybe when I'm in the bathroom, I'm on TikTok and I'm just scrolling through my For You page. And anytime I see a video that keeps my attention, I click on the profile of the person. And then on TikTok, it's great because it said just watch. I know Instagram's starting to do that. I click that little just watch button and I just look and see how many views it got. If it has 1 million views, I copy the link and I put it in a note doc. Like, and I do this for all the different platforms. I do it, not obsessively, because really I'm looking for, you know, I'm not really like, I don't necessarily care too much about the consistency now, because like I'm really striving for home runs every video. Like, and that's, because the more views that I get, the more people see me get views, the more money my agency makes. So like I want to preface that though. So like for me, both of all of my accounts is an expression of just the quality of my work and what I can do for people. Because people see me getting views, so they're like, oh, like I trust them to help me get views. And basically that I'm hired to get people attention. So it's like that is like my, like I don't have to sell very hard when I get on a sales call with somebody and I go, well, look at my last 3 videos. Like, and this is, and the only way as I'm able to do that is because of the more of the immense research that goes in before I even film a video. Like I know the topic I'm going to talk about, because if I watch 10 videos on TikTok and all of them got 1 million views, and I watch 10 videos on Reels and they all got 1 million views, and I watch 10 on YouTube, I look at all the commonalities and I go, okay, I want to talk about this one, this one, this one, and this one, and then I usually, I'm not big on stealing hooks. Like I just don't like it. I hate, my least favorite book is Steal Like an Artist. I think it's a fucking, like I hate that book. I just, because everybody just misconstrues what it means. Everybody just steals everybody's shit. Um, like I kind of live my life by the fact of I want to be the hook that everybody's telling you to steal. So then I just look at
Yes.
it, and I think that it's an effort thing. Um, because if you're looking at videos like, oh, I have to get these videos out, I have to film 7, I got to post 1 a day because this guy Ryan said that that's what I should do. It's like, no, like the best content creators who are also great business owners put effort into the content. And whether that effort is them, hiring somebody to script write, which I don't really believe in, or hiring an editor to be there full time, or hiring somebody to follow them around all day. Like, or if like on the extreme case, like Brandon Carter, like there's a reason King Keto, Brandon Carter gets a lot of views. Like when I show up at his house, we plan on batch filming a minimum of like 50 videos a day. Like, sometimes we do 100, like we've done a lot, but Brandon's like, he puts more effort in each video. So they're usually longer files. And we show up, like, or when I show up to film, he has probably 7 to 10 brand new outfits, tags still on them, that he bought just for this filming shoot because he wants to stand out. Like I mean, he buys, the great thing about this is a lot of it is marketing expenses for him. So it's like there's write-offs involved here, but he buys watches if he knows those watches are going to get views. Like that's what
Mhm.
I think, you know, if you're just starting out, it's like the easiest thing is what questions do people ask you? And then it's like what things piss you off about your industry? And then it's what things do you wish people would told you before you got started? Like, and it's really, and then you just list them out in a note doc, and then just get. I think it's like you're saying. It's funny when I always if I talk to fitness people, and I'm like, well, how long did it take you to bench 315? Like, how many
There's a whole
workouts?
story.
Yeah,
I
like
like
I'm
to
like,
talk like I pretend like somebody's asking me a question too. You know what I mean? Like no one's in
yeah,
my living room at all, but I'm like, I'll just act like I'm talking to that person. Yeah, again, no one's there. But
mhm,
exactly, like I don't know. I think that something that's always been helpful for me, because I always get ideas when it's never like my idea day, or whatever. Because
mhm,
I think a lot of coaches get so bogged down with everything else in business that their creativity bandwidth is oftentimes very short, right? Because
yep,
they're having to do. Even my coaches listening that are making multi 6 figures or whatever, right? Like your team is lean. You maybe have a setter and a VA, maybe a business manager if you're lucky, and maybe you have a video editor, but that person isn't like trained in viral content. And so you may have quality videos, but maybe the edits need, like some help or whatever it is. But I find that throughout my day, I keep a running document on my phone of the either the month or the quarter, and something will pop up and I'll be like, oh, let me add that to my like idea, right? And
mhm,
I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but something I've done for a long time is I will literally take my ideas from the previous month and I will find like my top 10, 15 that people really responded to, and I'll just do those as videos. So I'm
Mhm.
constantly kind of like rinsing and repeating. I think that people look at everything as so different. And I'm like, hell no. Like if you've got podcast, emails, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, like you should be repurposing content, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's also too, like, people, I think editors, like you kind of mentioned it, like if you have an editor, I have love hate for video editors. I have a lot of them that are on my roster, and like I am one, yeah. But I feel like we're in an age right now where it's like everybody's being sold about the importance of video editing, and they're like, you need a good video edit. Like, this is gonna, but that, I used to think that when we started, like when we came up with the idea for the captions, we started working with these big clients. I'm like, yeah, it's all the captions. Like, oh, they do everything. It's all this. And then I realized about, 6 months later, when like it took about 6, 8 months for people to catch up to doing the captions when we started. It was like for those referencing, it's like what's considered the Hermosi reel. Like if you look back on my TikTok account, July of 2020, specifically that month is when you'll see the first person that did the Hermosi reel, which was on my account. And then we rolled it out to all of our big clients. And because I was testing it and it worked, it did hold retention because nobody else was doing it. Now we're in an age where everybody's doing it. So which works in people's advantage. Like the less things are edited now, the more raw and authentic it feels. Like because everybody looks the same. It's like so like I would deter everybody. Like I would tell people not to hire an editor yet. Like I'm a very big on like the difference between a Grant Cardone and somebody else who sells real estate is Grant Cardone has filmed thousands of videos. Like, and he can speak well. Like, and I think speaking well is what most people, everybody lacks it. And it's not easy to work on, but it's like you can be conscious of how you're speaking, especially if you're like, I'm filming videos right now. Let me just work on saying, let me gather my thoughts for 10 minutes. And then let me say this video one time and then just run with it. Instead of going, instead of sending a video editor a 10-minute clip and saying, make something from this. Now, because it's unfair to you because the editor is going to make something from it. And I guarantee you ain't going to like it. And I most likely it's not going to perform. And then it's unfair to the editor because the editor's like, fuck, this girl wants me to fuck. If she could just speak better, I could do this. Like, so it's like on both sides, it comes down to, the confidence in speaking. And that's what I say, like, if you're not confident speaking on camera, like you have to get confident speaking on camera. And I don't believe in fake it till you make it, but like in this instance, I guess I do. Like because there will be, and I keep saying this, there's going to be like a 17-year-old kid or young person that is way less qualified than the people that you're teaching that are going to get the exposure that you should be getting because they are not afraid to talk on camera. And that is
Right.
the only difference. Like you can take somebody who absolutely sucks at training, but is good on camera, and somebody who is amazing at training, but sucks on camera. And I would rather work with this person because they're going to get views and they're going to grow their business. So it's like, and I know it's like daunting, like and it's like a scary thing, but it's like, I mean, the younger generation does have its advantage right now because they're just not afraid. Like my daughter's not afraid of it. She's 8. Like she's like, Dad, are we gonna film today? And I'm like, oh, slow your roll. Hang on. I'm like, they love it. They're growing up holding tablets and then they're getting phones early and like everybody has their beliefs around that, but it's like they're just not afraid. Like they see people all the time FaceTiming each other. Like a video is nothing but a FaceTime. I don't know, like that's all it is. Like if you have to FaceTime your mom and tell her how to lose fat, like and
FaceTime, I
record
mean,
it.
FaceTime a client, like normally I wouldn't say this, but FaceTime a client who just had like a great check-in and screen record that and use that as a video. Like, you know what I mean? Like anything can be content, truly. I think always I will say that. I want to know how to get better at creating hooks, right? I think that people are, for me and you, it seems to come natural. And I think that it's challenging to teach somebody how to be more specific and relevant because I agree with you. Like, and I don't know your style, but if I am writing, let's say a caption and creating some kind of a carousel, or even thinking about a video and I maybe jot down a few notes in my brain, um, on a pat, like whatever it is, I'm writing the hook or thinking of the hook last. Like I may have an idea of what it's going to be, but that's typically the very last thing that I do.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, we do. I do it both ways. Sometimes I just like want to say something, but like I think people would benefit from like there's a couple things. If you watch a video that gets a lot of views, like and you look at the hook, which is if you watch the first 5 seconds of the video, I guarantee you a few things are going to happen. Like it's probably visually stimulating. So, and this could be in many forms. This could be a very pretty girl. This could be a guy with a six pack. This could be a green Lamborghini. This could be a very ugly person. You're like, what am I looking at? Like anything can kind of make up visual stimulus, So it's like whatever's in context to what you do. But then the second thing you'll hear is when they speak, it's usually in 100% confidence. There's 100% conviction in what they're saying. Like you could say, and I like to use an avocado example. You could be like, I really, I fucking love avocados. There's like, it's like I fucking hate avocados. They're the worst food ever. Or it's like, or you could be like, well, I mean, every once in a while I eat avocados at Subway. Which video are you gonna watch? Like, it's a very convicted statement. Now, I'm not saying that all the convicted statements you see are true, but they're usually convicted. And those two things, like, so when you're looking at that, when you're about to say something or film a video and you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to say. I tell myself, what is the simplest and most aggressive way that I can say this statement?
Yes.
And that
Yes.
could be like, I'm looking at a 25-pound plate. I'll be like, this is a very nice black 25-pound plate. Why is this 25-pound plate black? Like, and then it's how whatever you're looking at, you have to say it in an aggressive way. And this even comes from like podcasts. And when I keep going back to speaking, but like you have to kind of ingrain yourself to speak in hooks, and like when you're talking on a podcast and you're asked a question, I'm thinking, okay, I want my team to clip this. Like, so if you ask me like, how much money does my agency make? I would say, well, this is how much money I made last year. No, it's like I made $1.4 million last year. Like that's clippable. Because now whatever I say after it, somebody's gonna pay attention to.
I always think like
It's
that. I always think
yeah.
about speaking in sound bites. Well, what I find is when coaches do videos, it's very much like like you said, full day of eating or this and that, which not to say that that's never a good idea, but it's here's how to get more protein in today. It's like, okay, everyone is doing that. Everyone is doing that,
Yeah.
And I think that we're, like you said, we're regurgitating stuff. What do you think about like the stitches and like the reaction videos?
I like to. I personally have never had any of those do well. And I do want to say I've tried quite a few. I just also live in a world, and being that you run ads and kind of, I don't know the ins and outs of your business, but you don't rely on certain like other people and things to determine your income. I don't want to rely on other people for content. Like I so like yes, there's big accounts that do nothing but react. And I think it's funny. Sometimes you react to something, it's cool. Like, but accounts that are just, as a business owner, I don't want to be like, I have to make content today. Oh, who am I relying on to react to? That's a very weak place to operate from. And I don't like that. I do think it's cool. And I do think, there's a lot of conspiracy theories on Instagram and TikTok. Like if you use the native features, they tend to push you more. I don't always believe that, but I do think that the apps make it easier. They make it very easy to react to things. So if that's your way of getting going, you need to do that. But at the end of the day, it's like when you look at a band, well, you have cover bands, and you have the actual band. Like, which one do you want to go see in concert? Like, you'll see the cover band if like the other band's retired, or they're like, fuck, I can't afford a ticket to that show, so I got to see the cover band, or like I want to go to the dive bar and the cover band's playing. It's like, so like, I kind of look at it like that, but again, if you see something that you want to stitch, it probably had a good hook. It's like you have to get used to looking at good hooks and speaking in sound bites, and it's people are afraid. And I say people is very generalization, but like fitness people, I've seen this a lot. Like they're not afraid to take their shirt off and show off their abs or wear their sports bras and look good. But if they were to say something loud enough to offend somebody, they go, "Oh, I can't do that." Like it's like you're standing there with the most confidence ever with your shirt off in public. Like you're walking down the street and I mean, fitness athleisure for women these days. I don't know. It's getting pretty crazy out there. Like you'll wear that, but you won't just you'll say something like, here's 5 ways to eat more protein. Why don't you tell me here's the worst fucking way to get your protein? Like, like
Literally
what
everyone
sounds
make
better?
that. Here's the worst fucking way to get your protein. I'm making that real now that you said
Like
that.
it's and I know it's like it's saying like and Dre who works with me, he's in my studio, like I always he's like you just take a question and you just ask it back the most aggressive way possible. And like that's a skill. I don't do it all the time and I fail a lot, but like I'm very conscious of that. Like there's a reason like a lot of my street interviews perform well. Like I take videos that I've seen people make and I just ask them to people because I'm like, I can ask this more aggressive and I'm going to get more attention. Like, or like that guy should have just said it like this and it would get more attention. Like, I'm friends with there's an account called the School of Hard Knocks. They interview millionaires. I've been interviewed on the channel before, and like I'm calling them out because they say the question the worst way possible. Like, what's the most amount of money you've ever made in a single year? Or like, what career did you decide to what job did you decide to make a career out of? I'm like, who talks like that? Like, how the fuck do you make money and how much do you make? Like, say it like that. Like, but it's you don't have to cuss either. It's just like and they don't really throttle your videos for cussing, so don't think that you have to or not cuss. Like there's a lot of viral videos with cuss words in them. But it's just that it's that tonality, it's that conviction that like it really doesn't matter what you're saying in the hook. If you're saying it with passion and convictions, you will get people to watch. And it comes from you want to trigger them. Like I had no idea that one of my most controversial videos was going to be me telling people that they don't have to turn their car off when they pump gas. But it's on my profile right now, almost 800 comments of people arguing. Like, like I just I'm always running late, I feel like. And I've had multiple times where like I need to get gas, my kid's gonna be late for school. If I don't shut my car off, I can cut down like 3 minutes of time. And I'm like to get gas, so it's like I've done, I was like, so I made a video about it. I made the video like 3 times. Every time it crashes. Like, and that's the thing too that I don't think people realize. It's like when you have a winning ad, I'm sure what do you do? Winning ad, you probably put more money behind it, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Or you make ads that are just like it.
Yep.
Like, or you probably do both. And
Yep.
it's the same thing with content. Like most content creators, they get videos that do well, and then they never make them ever again. And it's like, well, like I don't know how many times I'll make the shut your car off gas pump, but I've done it now 4 times. And every time I've done it, I've gotten views. Like I've integrated it into a day in a life. This is me pumping gas before while my car is running because it's Florida and it's hot as fuck. Like, and the comments, people get mad. And then that video was a day in the life video, which is basically a vlog, which got like 40,000 views when all my other daily vlogs are getting like 10,000. It's because I started with something controversial. Now, this is also where like we even clients, like when you start getting attention, I mean, you see it, I mean, you're probably kind of accustomed to it because of ads. Like I love looking at comments on people's ads. I think those are funny. When they're not me in the ad, I
I'm
love
literally making a carousel like in the next few weeks about this, just like love notes from ads because
oh, like they're just the same. I think ads might be worse because you're definitely interrupting their feed. Like they know you're paying to be there. So it's like they're like, fuck this bitch. Like, but like when you get when you get a million views on a video or a million views collectively on a lot of videos, like you can't do that without getting a lot of comments. And the best videos, like, and this is for like, I mean, for all the fitness people, like you have to be divisive in your methods. Like, you have to know exactly who you're talking to. Like if you don't, like I made a comment in one of my videos was like, just want to show off to all the fat dads that I can still throw my 50-pound daughter really far in the pool. Like that is a divisive statement that was said on purpose, like because I wanted people to comment. And the people that are commenting, what are they? They're not going to comment something happy. Well, some people did, but when you do this, like I don't like to do it in like a negative way, but it's like, do I think that all dads are way too fat? Yes. Do I think they miss out on family time with their kids because they're fat? Yes. Like, so that's a value that I believe in. So when I can say, well, look at all the fat dads, like that's going to be divisive,
And when
you
people
know?
hear this, like I want you all to know that while Ryan might be very polarizing, it's not like your dial of polarization needs to be as like turned
Yeah.
up, so to speak. However, if your content doesn't annoy, ruffle a feather, doesn't have to piss somebody off, but if it doesn't get somebody to say, that's not for me, then you're not doing a good job. Like you can't create generic as fuck content and expect to land sales or build a brand. And when you think about the really big names, whether it's in this industry or whatever, everyone is people either love that person or hate that person. No one's like, they're okay. Never ever
Yeah.
has that been the case. And so if you are trying to scale a business and really build a company and generational wealth for your family, you have to build that personal brand too. Because in my opinion, like when people invest in you, and we talked about this earlier, but just to like reiterate it again, when people invest in you, whoever you are, right, listening to this, you may have the best offer, pricing makes sense, but they fall in love with you first. They fall in love with you before they ever fall in love with your offer. And it's not about why your macro tracking or your PCOS protocol is different than hers or his. It's literally how are you different than whoever else, right? Like that's like you said, there's a million of us coaches. However, understand that your ideal client is not following a million of you. Right. And I think it's also
No.
helpful personally. Like you may have a different thought because you're really ingesting content, but I find that so many people they're following too many gurus and getting so much information that it just creates, paralysis. And so I think like, how do you shut off the noise? Because everyone is a social media guru. Everyone is teaching how to go viral. Everyone is telling you what to post, what not to post, how to do a hook, how not to do a hook. Like, how do you turn it off?
Yeah. Well, my first thing is I've just always, I believe in like, I don't teach what I'm not doing. Like or like what I haven't done to a degree. Um, and I personally hate making those types of videos, even though I feel like I mean, we track everything similar to like obviously you run ads and you track your sales numbers and your closes, like who no shows. Like we do the same thing with viral videos. Like we have spreadsheets. Like and like I'm actually trying to hire a data manager right now that just tracks all of our videos and other accounts because I want to see everything. Like when a video hits 100K, I want to know how long it is, what was the hook, like regardless of account. Like I want to be able to see it in a spreadsheet because I can look at spreadsheets faster. Yes, you can do this with AI, but it's like if I see spreadsheets, I can see, okay, all these videos had 100K views and they were 48 seconds long. All the videos that got over a million were a minute 6. Like I want to see that. Like, so that type of, when it comes to like shutting off the noise, like I don't like I just if I'm not doing something, I just can't talk about it. Like when my account's not doing good, it's the worst time for me to be selling or talking to clients. Like
I
so
just
so
know
it's
that
like
so many coaches are like so desperate for sales, so desperate for views, so desperate to be better. And they're reading this guy's book and that dude's podcast and this girl's video. And some of it is conflicting information because everyone has polarizing look at me energy that's been doing this for so long. Right. And so, it just creates friction. And what I find more often than not is instead of implementing maybe a few things here and there, they just are like, fuck it, this is a lot. Like, I'm just not even going to play the game. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that was
well
kind of,
to answer your question, like so when the people making content are like a starving market. Like it's like those content creators are like obviously they're like dealing drugs. Here's your hooks, here's your scripts, here's what you need. Like say this and get this. And I just urge people to look at those accounts. Like, are they only getting views because they're telling you what you should be doing to get views? Because that's, because they made a video about it? Like, it's incestual. Like, it's because if they make a video about it and it does well, it gets a million views, and it's like a top hook or an editing hack, what's going to happen? Everybody's going to copy it. And then it's obsolete within like 7 days. So you have to get out of that mind. Like, the people that like I look at like I watch comedians through and through a lot. Like comedian like Matt Rife, Hannah Berner, like there's a ton of them. They're all over my For You page. And I'm watching them one because they're funny, but two, their delivery and how they talk. Like Matt Rife is not on stage thinking about his next hook. Like he's on the spot, like making fun of people, being witty, doing his job, which is making people laugh. Like, the people that are, telling you to script this or do this, like I just always look at their videos and I'm like, bro, if it was that good, like, what do you got going on? Your last video had 400 views. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's yes, there's different types, and like I don't necessarily believe that I can't learn something from that, but it's look at the source and then what are they doing to get views? Like I have multiple accounts. Like I reference other accounts. I started an account last month. I'm like, let me see how fast I can get a million view video. I did it in 7 days. Like now I'm like, shit, what do I do with that account? Do I gotta keep making videos for that account, or did I prove my point? I don't even know what I proved my point to. I just did it for fun. Like we started another account like called Ryan Magin Trash, which is on TikTok, and it's just video because have hundreds of videos that I've paid for to video editors that are just crap. So I just started putting them on the Ryan Magin Trash account, and that video that account's gotten like 100,000 views. Like it's these are things like I do this so I can say, well, because my biggest thing is people like, oh, well, it's easy for you. You work with the biggest people. They already got big followings. It's like, well, actually, I built this account last week. Look at it. Like, like, what's your rebuttal? Like, and that, like, I don't think there's inherently anything wrong with people giving this advice or say this or do this or like breaking down people's stuff. It's just like, it, like, it's obsolete unless you have an implementation to that for me. Like I want to see you do it and what results did you get and or how many times do you have to do that to get that result? Like,
I think that's
like
key. Like you mentioned, you created a account and within 7 days, like you have a proven method that you've shown time and time again. You didn't build a following and then say, hey, let me teach you how to build a following when you didn't actually do that through viral content, right?
Because it moves so fast. And like, I mean, yes, there's like principles and things that like I know will probably never change. Like when we're working like topic wise, like, and I mean, I'll just share this. Like, I'm working with a client right now. She's a very big business influencer, huge. Her team, she was unhappy with the performance of her edits. And I had, because I have the way my company is set up, like we have like podcast clients and we have direct to camera clients. So and then for this spectrum, it's like one costs 6K and it's 2 clips a day. So we have to clip podcasts to get 60 clips a month. And always when you're paying 6K, the expectation is in my world is performance. Because a lot of video editors and video companies, they charge like 2 to 3K. I'm doubling that charging 6. So that comes with high expectation. And then if I'm filming in person quarterly with somebody and we're coming up with topics and helping you direct, it's 10K a month. And that's like over 100 grand a year. So like both of my world is always based on expectations. These things have to perform. And the first metric of performance for us is obviously the views on the video. And then it's like, okay, once we establish a baseline, okay, we have views happening. Are these converting to followers? And if they're not converting to followers, it means the content's not resonating with it. I say, okay, but let's just give it, usually it works itself out over time, like 30, 60, 90, 120 days. The longer you work with a client, you see that, the patterns. But then when we have that metric, it's like, okay, so then it's like a machine. So I have a timestamper, as in this is just somebody that's watching their podcast or their long form YouTube videos and they're clipping things. And then my editor's editing it and then we're posting it. Like, so when we're starting with a new client, I tell the clippers, okay, we're looking for car videos, relationship videos, like breakdowns specifically of like look for celebrity names, breakdowns, like how much money people make, like job descriptions. Like we have like this blanket of things that we go into a podcast looking for, and that we know statistically is proven. Like I know that I can tell you confidently, like, what kind of car do you drive?
Me?
Yeah,
A Grand Cherokee.
the Grand Cherokee. Jeep videos crush. Like you get like I guarantee you, if you make a video, here's a walkthrough of my car, a walkthrough of my Jeep Grand Cherokee, or here's how much I paid for my 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I paid $27,000. I leased it because I'm a business owner. I want the tax write-off. I pay this much per month.
Oh, I have a great story. I was accidentally repoed. Like that's a great story. Honestly, I should make a reel about
You
it.
should definitely like accidentally repoed. I actually volunteer.
Listen, it's a story.
well, one of my, like, just for a hook, like I have a car video where it's like it's 100% true. It's like my biggest financial mistake was, I voluntarily repoed my own car. Like, and I go through this whole story about how I couldn't afford the car that I bought, and like that car makes me, or that video, like I look like an idiot. Like every time I explain it, I'm like, God, I'm an idiot. Why did I do this? Like, well,
Yeah.
and but I hate that video from the fact of just how it makes me look, and the comments destroy me every time. But that video has probably driven 20, 30,000 followers to me over the last like year. Like every time we post it, it works. But and you find these like stories, and that's what I'm saying for like the new client, relationship videos we know are hot. And this person being a woman, I'm like, women sharing relationship stories on TikTok crush, and her audience has a 60-40 demographic split of 60% males, 40% women. So I'm like, okay, women share shit. So, the first like 5 to 6 videos I did were all relationship oriented, and like the sixth or seventh one got 1 million views. Like that's, you know, topics work, and for each person they're similar, but they can be different. Like, the internet likes when I share my biggest financial mistake, and I've said it on like 5 or 6 different podcasts, and I do it on purpose because I'm like, I know this is gonna work. Like, and it's a good story, it's like a big lesson,
Mhm.
but you learn these things that it's like, and similar to an ad, your content creation becomes easier because you're like, okay, I know if I talk about this is probably going to do good. So
It's
maybe I'll
usually
say it
the
like this.
videos that where the topics come easier. And I want to say that to coaches too, because I am definitely like, I always am thinking in like education mode, right? However, I know when to turn it off and just think of like random topics. And I think a lot of coaches have a hard time sharing about themselves, right? Like even if you got recently engaged or whatever, or proposed to rather, like share that story on your page. Like that humanizes you, right?
Yes.
Like little things like that are super helpful.
And
I don't
it's
know.
like
I just
also
think,
too, like oversharing. I know some, like, in person, I think it's wrong. Like I don't like overshares in person, but on video, when I'm watching a video, like Luis, who works with me, he's really good at like, he'll just keep asking questions. We call it, and this is a framework. We call it the annoying kid framework. So like when I'm interviewing somebody or I'm talking to somebody or we're filming videos, it's like I just want to keep asking you the dumbest questions until you get frustrated. Like to the point where it's just like, for example, like, like, so what year is your Jeep Grand Cherokee?
2021,
How much did you pay for it?
30K.
How much did you put down?
I was leasing it, maybe 5K
5K. And
originally,
what was your lease payment per month?
350.
And to afford $350 a month, how much money do you make per year?
Oh God, now I'm gonna think backwards.
But
Think
you
that
see,
was,
but it's like,
yeah.
but you just keep drilling. So it's like another example would be like, if you're making a recipe video, like it could be like, you
What'd you
know,
put into that? Hey, how much was
what,
that? Wait, show me that
yeah,
again.
what grocery store did you go to?
Oh,
Why?
Jesus.
Like, and then, but you end up getting like, and I would urge you, like, the people, like, do this to yourself, like, as best you can. Like, if you have to like write these down, like, because like when I was just doing that to you, if that were a video, it's so fast paced back and forth, you can't look away.
No.
And then and then each statement was like, how much do you pay for your Jeep Grand Cherokee? Well, like, how much money do you make to afford a Jeep Grand Cherokee? Why do you like? You keep repeating back the same like main point, which in this case was obviously the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Like, or in say it was like, well, how do you make $1 million a year?
Yeah.
Like, do you think anybody can make $1 million a year being a bellboy at a hotel? Like, how many bags do you have to lift to make $1 million? Like, it's to be a bellboy at a hotel. You just keep saying the same thing, and it does get frustrating, and it's like wildly annoying. But then when you see the video come back, you're like, this is really engaging, and you get like those points because you want to have too much details to get rid of, than not enough details. Because and for the coaches listening, like details are authority. Details build trust. At least in like if you're saying like here's the optimal way to bench press. It's like, all right, you're gonna go over and you're gonna grab the 45-pound plates. Don't grab the metal ones because I'm convinced they weigh more than the rubber ones. Grab the rubber ones. It also looks better when you put more than 2 on the bar. But you can't put the logo out. You got to put the logo on. So you're like, why the fuck is he telling me this? But you're like, you can't stop listening. It's
You
like,
had a video like this. I mean, you have several, but one that just I'm thinking of recently was about, is a speeding ticket a write-off? And I was like, where is he going with this? Because I knew the answer, but I'm like watching it And it's just you literally explaining how you asked somebody, didn't believe them, Googled it, found out, hey, by the way, you can. It's like, why the fuck did I watch this for a minute? I'm now annoyed. But yes, because I was like, wait, okay, is someone going to tell him that you can? Because like, I'm now very intrigued. But I agree. I think that people are just, yeah, those videos, in my opinion, though, I think are easier. Not this is a cop out, but they are easier when you have somebody kind of directing you,
Oh
or
yeah.
if you have some process, like if you have practice doing that.
It's way easier. And this is another hack. Like it's way easier to film content if you have somebody that can ask you, like, I would say intelligent questions. Like, or in not even intelligent, but like your optimal like demographic. Like if you're trying, a lot of the coaches you work like that probably work with you, like they have success stories. Like interview them, but don't interview them on like what you did to them to get them to lose weight. Interview them on like, so what was it like when you lost 10 pounds? Like, how do you think I helped you lose 10 pounds? Like, what do you think was what was the breakthrough for you from, being fat to losing 10 pounds? Like, it's like, like, I mean, and it's like, you got to figure out like how to push people too. And like, it is, it's entertainment to a degree. Like I'm an educator at heart, but I know when somebody comes across a video, like we've seen a stark shift. Cause again, we see a lot of videos, like we post 100+ videos a day to all the accounts. And there is a shift happening, and like people can, if you want to fact check this, go on your For You page and look. Like you're seeing less education, like as a whole. Like you're seeing entertainment all over the place in many various shapes and forms. Like, yes, a street interview in my case, I like to, you know, I like to think, at least how I sleep good at night, is that there is some educational aspect to this video and a reason for it to happen. And I try to have that on every video. And if I don't have that in the video, I usually don't post it. But the street interview style, or like the back and forth skit style, or like the stitch, it's a form of entertainment. It's like you have to entertain to get your point across. And it's the same way, like, look at like the Peloton instructors. The one girl, she just left. She's fucking massive. I forget her name. I follow her. She's incredible. She's like so animated. What the fuck is her name? I gotta let me just Google that. It's gonna bother me if I don't. But either way, like there's probably 20 other Peloton instructors. She just left, and I know about her. I don't like my fiance has a Peloton. Like I don't pay attention to that fucking thing. Like, it's like the personality of her. Like there's memes of her drinking her coffee, talking shit before the ride, and that's how she got famous. Like and she gets more people to her Peloton class because of her drinking iced coffee and like chugging it before a ride. Like it's like I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm just saying like everything is a form of entertainment. And if you can make like even in a lot of your coaches, I mean, I don't know. We're in an era where like people don't actually coach in person at all anymore. But I'm assuming a lot of people that come to you have in-person clients and they're just
Yep.
tired of it.
Yep.
That's, to be successful at having like in-person clients, you got to entertain the client for an hour, or else they're going to stop paying you. If they're bored going through the workout,
I
they're
think
probably
yeah. Also understanding too that like people assume like you listening are probably thinking I'm not entertaining. What I do is boring. And I want you to understand that the mundane, boring ass tasks that you do during the day are entertaining to someone else. It's really the way that you talk about it. I think, people are like, oh, I don't drive a fancy car, do anything crazy, just like work at home. I'm like, trust me, you have quirks, you have personality. Like, I promise you, like you do. I want to give you some quick, like rapid fire, like questions to wrap this up, just to get your answers on this,
got
because
it.
you've given a ton of information. But to the person who says, I post daily and I'm not seeing any traction, answer.
Well, I would look at all your views are probably not the same on all those the last 30 videos. I would look at the last 30 videos and look at the ones that got significantly more views, or let's say, or that one video that did well, like, and then be like, okay, and really look at that one video. Open your analytics and look at the watch time, see how far they watched, and it tells you to the exact specification for the most part. Like this video, the average watch time was 14 seconds. Like, look at that. What did I say at 14 seconds to make people go, fuck you, like I'm leaving? Like, and then always look at that number, because that's how you get better every video. And then I would also look at the worst videos and go, what did I say that made people not want to stay? And what you're going to find if you're getting low views is that they didn't stay past the first 3 seconds. So it's your hooks. Like they're just not. Or if you do get a decent video and they drop at like 10 seconds, well, what did I say? And just learn from it. Don't take it to heart. Don't say I'm never making videos, but just study it because the data is there. Like I do like TikTok analytics better than Instagram. We post the same videos in each place. I don't treat the platforms any differently. But I found that if a video does really well on TikTok, it will do well across platforms. And TikTok analytics are just way better. So like if you're not posting on both platforms, I would encourage you to post on both platforms solely from the analytics point. But Instagram's gotten better. It's like they've smartened up, I guess, or copied TikTok more.
All right, posting frequency for a coach who is maybe posting once or twice a week, video wise, right? I'm assuming that anyone listening to this right now is posting multiple times a week on their platforms, but how many videos per week is minimum? You said one a day. Are we still saying one a day?
Yeah, there's always power in one video a day. If you can't hit one video a day, I would say you need to do a minimum of 5 and take the weekend off. Because 2 days in a row is not going to mess up your momentum. But there's a habit that happens with one video a day. And I would even get granular and set a specific time frame. When I started my TikTok, it was during the pandemic. I was watching my daughter. She was 4. I literally had like 1 hour a day where she would watch, I think it was Bubble Guppies, and she would leave me alone. And I said, I am going to film and edit a video in 1 hour. And at the end of this hour, I'm going to post it. And what if I'm not finished? It's getting posted unfinished. And there were many days where I barely finished the video. But I gave myself a time frame and I did that every day. And I mean, even if you're coaching, you all have 30 minutes a day, like to do a video. Like I understand if you don't have it on the weekends, but I mean, I used to like train people. So it's like, there's always a huge gap. You either wake up really early in the morning and then there's like a massive gap in the afternoon. And then there's one, then you have your evening. And it's like, and if you're online coaching, like you just block this hour off, like give yourself like, I'm just going to make a video right now.
Well, we have time for what we prioritize, right? Like that's, I don't have time to like go to bars and drink because it's not important to me, right? Like that's just not my thing. So, like I said, efficiency is got to be high, right? But if you're somebody that needs practice and reps, then batching your content is not going to be the best way in the beginning. Like maybe you batch a few videos at once. I think it's a pain in the ass being a female putting makeup on and doing one fucking video. Like I'm not doing that ever.
Yeah.
I will not do that. My dudes fucking do it. But like girls, I get it. Like you got ready, you have the camera out or not, whatever, phone, whatever it is. Like at least do 2 weeks because 14 1-minute videos, maybe 30 seconds, takes you half an hour at most to film. Like it is not, it takes me literally just under an hour to do a month of videos, and that's one a day. So, I mean, I think that you'll get faster at that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we like to put like it's like 5 minutes should be like the filming, the whole like you should film for like it's like if you put a limit like okay, I'm gonna give myself 5 minutes to think about what I'm gonna say and 5 minutes to actually film the video, and then I'm moving on to the next, and you did that for an hour, you would film what's that like 20 videos? Like yeah, I'm a big believer in batching, but like you said earlier, like for some people, it's like you got to build up that stamina to get through like filming, like because I don't think people put enough creative. They don't realize the creative strain on filming like 100 videos in a day.
No,
or like talking for 8 hours. Like you burn the same amount of calories as like a fucking giant workout all day. It's like walking 20,000 steps. Like it's and it's mentally fatiguing. So I would find your limit. Like I'm a big believer in like let's see how far I can go before I die, and then scale back from there. So like maybe it is do one batch. Like, I'm gonna film 20 videos today if it kills me, and then be like oh shit I got 17. Okay, well let's do this.
I just know that like coaches, as you grow your business, there is never going to be a time where you have less content ever. You will always have more content to produce, more platforms, more things to film. If you cannot get the fuck on board with videos right now, you're going to have an excuse for why you can't do emails tomorrow or podcast the next day or whatever. And I'm a big believer, like just the self-accountability and ownership for me. I think a lot of coaches and business owners like suck at deadlines and holding themselves accountable because it's like, it's my business, whatever. And so for me, my day off usually is Sundays. I'm still posting things, but like, I'm not bringing my laptop out usually on Sundays, maybe Saturday, but it's one of those 2 days. So If I don't get all of my shit done though, that becomes my ad hoc day. And that's kind of like my punishment. So like, oh fuck, I still have to record my videos or what. And just like, it's crazy to me how many people just let those things kind of slide, right? And so understand that as you are looking at your week as a whole and trying to find time for this or that, not all of your content always has to be so far ahead. And I'm sure you would agree with me when I say this, but if you took a week off of posting anything and just got on your stories and instead spent that time batching and editing quality videos for the next few weeks, that would do you way more good than feeling like you're constantly always behind or on the day of.
Yes, like, and that's the thing too. It's like the your like, well, in this case, your content, if you're posting consistently and you're like, oh God, I need it, like your account is not going to fall apart if you take a week off. Like, yes, it might take one or two videos to get the groove back, like, if you've been going for a long time, but like, I mean, I took I flew to India to speak. I believe it was last year. And I deleted all the apps off my phone because I was paranoid that because TikTok's banned in India and I didn't want my Instagram getting like on the wrong VPN. And I was like, so I just deleted all the apps. And for 7 days, like I didn't post anything, didn't do anything. And I was talking to Luis, who also has access to my account. I had one of my most viral weeks ever because like if you make good content too, the algorithms like your account is like it's just they know your account exists, I guess is the best way to put it. And if like, oh, you haven't posted in a while, they'll show videos. Like they're still going to show your videos. Like you're a product to them too. So they're going to distribute your product to the people they see fit. So it's like it doesn't just shut down, you know. So like I think people put that, oh, I don't want to start if I can't finish it. But like there is, in my opinion, there's more strength in just like I can only do 4 videos a week, but I'm gonna do 4 videos a week for the next 5 years.
Yep. Yep.
Instead of I'm gonna do 100 videos and I'm gonna do it in a month and then
Well,
never
you
do it
brought this
again.
up earlier, and I'll kind of like wrap on this. I know we've been chatting forever, but we mentioned reps earlier and just how long this shit takes. And, when I first started my business, I was posting like 3 times a week. And that was before all the crazy carousels and everything. And I was like, how many posts have I made on Instagram? 7,030.
Oh
Like
man, you got way more than me. I'm not even that. Let me see.
7,030, man.
I just posted my stats. I always do that too. That's another thing for if you're looking for content coaches, I believe they should show screenshots of their analytics. So on Instagram, I've gotten 100 million and 254,000 views. I posted 1,799 videos. Like, and that's gotten me 114,000 followers. On TikTok, I've gotten 168 million views and I've posted 1,900 videos, and that's gotten me 292,000 followers. Like that. And then on YouTube, YouTube's not as great. I don't know how many. I just know the lifetime views. It's probably right around the same. I would put YouTube as the same, if not less, because I started posting on YouTube like a year after TikTok because there was no YouTube Shorts. It took forever.
We're still talking thousands though. And I think
Yeah.
that there's this expectation online that the second you change a tactic or style, you're going to see all these results in like the next week or two. And maybe you will, but I just think we suck when it's not about instant gratification. Like we just suck at continuing to do something over and over and over again.
Mm.
But is there anything else that I should have asked you that I didn't?
Well, two things to make it easier for you, some habits and routines that I would get into is,
Yeah.
um, like just so you have things like I think you made a post about it, but get in the habit of taking clips of your day-to-day life. Like, and I mean, I'm super specific. It's like I need at least like 3 to 5 seconds, like 3 to 5 seconds of me doing something. And you may never use this, but it it accumulates. And I mean, I am a good, if you struggle to make content, the day in the life videos are pretty cool. Like this is what and you could have fun with these because I just find them very easy to make. And you can see like I'm making them now. I'm trying to do a couple a week. I'm like, I'm gonna do them every day. And then I realized after the first week, I was like, yo, calm down. Maybe I should do 2 or 3 a week. Because I'm actually really, really busy. I'm like, and it's still hard for me to sit down and edit these because I'm doing them myself because it's like a reps thing. I need to, until I know how to do it fast, I'm not going to outsource it to my team. But getting in the habit of just taking clips throughout the day, you end up using those clips as you make more and more videos. They become B-roll, they become standalone posts, they become story slides, they become all kinds of different things. And I would just get in the habit of like having a picture of what you ate for breakfast for a year. That's kind of a cool video. Like if you had that every day, like you made a video. Here's what I ate. Here's every breakfast I ate for the last 365 days. And it's like, I would watch that. Like, so it's like beginning in these habits of things that you do and filming it. And also TikTok is really good. And I think it's better than Instagram on this, but the green screen videos, like basically where you put a picture behind you and you talk, like that's all done in app. Like, and you can make them up to 10 minutes long. Like, find a slide and get in. That could be like, do like three, if you want to make videos every day, do 3 day in the life and 3 green screens every week. And to do a green screen, all you got to do is find an article or a picture of something that you kind of disagree with, put it up behind you and say what's wrong with it.
Or a client
Like,
transformation or
yeah, yeah.
lab work, like anything, Yeah.
Yeah, lab work works good. We had one of our clients is Ali Gilbert, and we started doing it with her with lab work because she does like men's health, and like lab work's good, transformations are good. Like those are great ads too. Like
Yep.
if it works in organic too, that's a hack. Like it's gonna probably be a good ad. Like,
That's so
so
true.
like that, but those two types of content, like you don't if you honestly like, I feel like there's 10-year-olds with cell phones doing day in the life of a kid going to middle school. Like if they're doing it, you have time to do this and you can do it better and faster than they can. And it just trains you to film stuff. And you don't even have to say anything, like, because you can narrate them. Like and you can do all of these in the
Yep.
TikTok app or in the
Yep.
CapCut app.
Yep.
Like it's all on the phone. Like you need zero, like you should not have an editor doing this for you. Like you should not be paying for this. You should be like, okay, this is what I got to do today. I'm going to collect my clips. Like those take me, and I'm like anal about mine, and I spend time matching all the cuts up, and like they still take me like 30 to 45 minutes. Like I can do that. Like I manage 15 or so people. Like I'm busy and I still make time for that because it's important. And influential wise, like those two types of videos, like your opinion on something going on
Hmm.
is total personality and it shows your expertise. And it's going to force you to you're not editing it. Like you got to
Yeah.
be off the cuff. So you're going to get better at doing it. And the day in the lives are just like, you'll end up using that footage later. But also, like if you're a successful coach and you're busy all day, I want to see it. It's social
Yeah.
proof. Like if you're going to the gym, like, if you're a proponent, like I know you do TRT. So like if you're a proponent of that and they see you doing it every day, it becomes a part of your brand. And like somebody would resonate with that. Like if I'm gonna hire a coach, I'm gonna be like, well, I want to hire a coach that's probably familiar with guys that are on TRT. Well, shit, she's on TRT. So let me see what she can help me with.
Yeah.
Like, and those things, like you overlook them, but it's
The
so
amount of
powerful.
people that honestly hire me because we have similar music taste is like ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Like
Oh, I saw
music.
you were at the show. I saw that and music is like I mean, we could talk about that forever, but if you're just never showing your personality, what you do, day in the life, stuff like that. I mean, and I could be better at day in the life videos for sure, but just showing what you do is so critical because people that are looking to hire you, they're aspiring to do what you're doing.
Mhm,
And coaches forget that. Like you are their end result,
mhm. Well,
especially the fitness side of things.
there was a marketer, Ty Lopez. I don't know if like he was a few years back. He did the "Here in My Garage" ad. He had like bookshelves in his garage, and this is a Lamborghini here in my garage, and it was like an iconic ad. But all the comments, like, and he was like very big proponent of like just filming everything with his cell phone like throughout the day. It was like when Instagram stories were popular, he grew really fast. Like, and the thing that was funny was all the comments were like, "It's a rented Lamborghini. You don't actually own the house you live in." This well, for about 2 years, every day you saw him driving that car. All of a sudden, the comments didn't say it was rented anymore. Like, because he actually, so it's like people want it. Like, I feel like people want to be a skeptic at first, but if you keep showing up and it's like, well, I mean, I've seen him work with these clients over and over again. I've seen it. I've seen him go to his studio like 15 times. I've seen him wear the same daily outfit all the time. Like I've seen his kid. I've seen him do this. I've seen him do that. I see that he travels a lot. Like you living your life, being who you are, whether it's boring or exciting, like people resonate with that.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that that's like, if you're up every day at 6 a.m. and you're like, let's say you are still training people in person, like that's easy content. Up at 6 a.m. I got my coffee, I got my breakfast, got my protein, boom. First client, 6:15, what's up? Boom. Then you show a clip of training the person, then it goes, then I got an hour break, gonna work on my business. Like
Mhm.
that type of content right now is super popular and it will always be popular. It's like vlogging at a low form. Um, and you don't have to talk. Like you could just put a fucking song to the back of it if you want to and just show
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah,
day. Like,
yeah.
and I would urge people like because I'm a big believer in like talking and influence. Like I would narrate. It's not hard. This thing like if you fumble through one or two of these videos, I promise you they're very easy. You know,
Well, you're
so
never going to get better if you don't do it, though. But
mhm,
to summarize a lot of this, number one, stop fucking around, jokes aside,
mhm.
but post a video a day. Hooks should be definitely something that's a little bit polarizing or just a little bit aggressive, right? You're taking a stance on something that should get attention. Tell a story, and you don't have to hire an editor. Those
Yeah,
are the main takeaways.
yeah. I love editors, but I just think that right now you're in a time like you don't need them right now. Like it'll probably flip back and like everything's cyclical. It's like fashion. Like it's
Yep.
like, now baggy jeans are back in style. I still wear skinny jeans. I'm not doing it. Cannot
Yep.
do baggy.
Nah, a
We're
lot of
gonna
dudes can't really wear baggy jeans, but
Nah. Girls can. I think girls look great in them. But like same thing is like it's like you look around now, like I'm 41, I'm like shit. This is like when I was like 20. This is what
yeah.
it's like so it's like the same. I think the same thing is with content. It's like everybody did over edited and cinematic stuff and crazy captions.
Yep.
Now we're like, I just want little captions and and I want to know what the person's talking about. And I don't
Yeah.
want like the polished sets. I don't want the perfect backdrop. Like I personally like it and I got a studio, so I don't ever use this ever. Like most of my videos that do well are me talking to people in the street. So it's like, but I have a studio, it's
Yeah.
it's more for
Yeah.
fun,
And that's
you
a
know.
great, a lot of my clients perform really well when they do car videos, like
Yes, car videos because they're
car
so
videos are great well.
real. They're
Yep.
so like not like everybody has a car. In your case, a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Like, like,
Yes. Well, I'm obviously going to link all of your info in the show notes, but Ryan, it's been fun hanging out with you. I'm sure I'm going to pick your brain some more because I love learning from you and your content's been really fun following you. Thanks for hanging out today, man.
well, thanks for having me.